All right, so I'm about 2 minutes early. So we're going to hang tight and see if any people come in. I got one. Hello, hello. How are you this evening? Like I said, I'm about 2 minutes early in for my start time. So we're going to hang out for about 2 minutes, see how many people we get in, if any. And then we'll get started. So if you want to grab a drink, grab a smoke, whatever you want to grab. I thought my sippy cup game was going to be strong, but looks like we've got some weather coming in, so not a good idea for me to be drinking because I don't know if I'm going to have to get out here in a little bit. So if I have to stop the live abruptly, I do have my radio on in case things get a little sketchy out our way. So I hope you're having a good day, having a good evening. If you're my one lonely nut, got about 1 minute to go and we'll get started. Take a look at the Weather Channel really quick. Give me just a second here. Take a look at my radar and see what's going on. Okay, so it looks like Jefferson County got a few little scattered. Okay, so 7:15, here we go. Looks like it's just me and you. So these are not EOs, but these are just a couple of little documents that I wanted to kind of touch on really quick. This is going to be really fast. The first one, which I found quite hilarious. Sorry, hang on. Was a proclamation that was signed on March 31st, which was called Second Chance Month. We all know that President Biden was, and I say that loosely, President Biden, because we all know he's kind of a joke at this point. That he had signed in previously. He was a part of assisting in. I gotta turn the light on so I can read this. That is super bright. Let's see if I can cover that up just a little bit. A part of, he took part in a lot of the legislation that put a lot of, him and Kamala both, that put a lot of people of color behind bars. We've known for a long time that he has been very adamant about being harsher on people of color when it comes to crime than on whites. So this second chance proclamation that he signed is about criminal justice systems and meaningful opportunities for redemption and rehabilitation. That his administration is committed to a holistic approach to building safe and healthy communities, which, again, that they're committed to second chances from the earliest stages of our criminal justice system, supporting second chances, diverting individuals who have used illegal drugs to drug court programs and treatments instead of prisons. Which I kind of find funny since this week, his son has been out promoting his book where he talks about smoking Parmesan cheese out of his carpet, thinking that it's crack cocaine, and I'm not laughing at addiction by no means, because I understand addiction is a huge issue in this country, but this, I can't help but feel like this is just a facade, that this is all for show. That they want to remove barriers, that every person leaving incarceration should have housing opportunities, decent jobs, health care, which they do. I can tell you that caseworkers work with inmates, and the minute before they're even released, the paperwork for them to be applied on Medicaid is already processed before they ever leave an institution. At least I know that's how that works in Kentucky. And I would say that that's kind of how that works in every state, because those are federally funded programs. That's not just a state funded program. So I don't know if he just doesn't have an understanding of how the federally run programs work. I would say he probably doesn't, because I'm sure that's kind of beneath him in his mind to understand how the federally funded programs work. So I would advise him to get with people who in his cabinets who understand those programs and get a little more educated on that before he starts throwing out these proclamations, because it's making him look even dumber than what he really is. And as far as re-entering society, majority of the time, if they have drug convictions, they're going to sober living facilities and halfway houses as soon as they leave. That is usually, most often, a condition of their parole and release. So again, I don't think he understands the criminal justice system. Again, I can only speak for Kentucky, but again, I'm pretty sure that's kind of in general how it works across the board. I'm pretty sure Kentucky's not the only one that runs it that way. So I would advise Mr. Biden to do some research before he starts putting some of these things out there. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for him that he doesn't understand how any of these systems work when he is supposed to be the leader of the free world, free country. I mean, you're the president of the United States. You should kind of have an idea of how these systems work and what systems are in place before you'd go out touting and putting it on paper. So if you guys want to look at that, it's Proclamation 10171. It was done on March 31st, and it's called Second Chance Month 2021. So yeah. It's just it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. March 29th, he did the continuation of the national emergency with respect to significant malicious cyber-enabled activities, which I kind of thought was funny. This was a continuation from an executive order done in 2015 by his daddy. Again, I thought it was kind of funny to deal with unusual and extraordinary threats to national security, foreign policy, and the economy of the United States. They want to increase the prevalence and severity of malicious cyber-enabled activities originating from or directed by persons located or in substantial part outside the United States. I mean, we've been dealing with this for a while now. I mean, so this would pertain to the election. The man's mental capacity is, you sign off on a document like this knowing that you aided and abetted foreign nationals to use cyber networks to falsify our election. It's really kind of funny. I find it humorous. It's not fun. It's not funny, guys. I mean, obviously it's not funny, but it's not funny, haha. It's just funny and embarrassing for him again. That he's putting his name on this stuff. I mean, feel free to chime in, if you wish. Again, you can't make this shit up. And then again on the 31st, another proclamation, National Sexual Assault Prevention and Awareness Month. I mean, nobody did more for human trafficking and sexual assault than President Trump. And now he's, talking about how sexual assault is a devastating abuse of power, that we all need to stand up and speak out against it and improve laws and services available to survivors, change the culture and attitude towards sexual assault, that the pandemic has exacerbated sexual assault, that his administration actually stands with survivors and is committing to alleviating the public health crisis of sexual assault, that they're including $450 million in supplemental funding for domestic violence and sexual assault services, including rape crisis centers, particularly survivors who are Black, Indigenous, and Latino, Asian American, Pacific Islanders, and other people of color. So he doesn't care about the white people who are being sexually assaulted. He doesn't even list white people in this. It is literally just people of color. Which kind of makes me sick. We're not talking about the children. We're not talking about, it's almost like we're just going to ignore the fact that sexual assault is affecting everyone, whether you're a person of color, white, a child, male, female, but we're going to concentrate on Black, Latino, people of color, and that's the only people that we're going to be concerned about where sexual assault is concerned. That they're committed to gender-based violence. And I get that there's a lot of gender-based violence against women, but there's violence. What about same-sex relationship violence? There's plenty of violence in the trans LGBTQ communities, homosexual relationships, whether it be two men, two women. There's just as much domestic violence in those relationships as there is heterosexual relationships. We're just going to skim right past that and not even talk about that. It's kind of insulting, that we're just going to pass right over that and not even talk about it. So that's a little disturbing to me that, we're not going to give equal acknowledgement to those rising issues, and they have all been rising issues during the pandemic because they have fear-mongered people into their homes, which has created higher stress levels. It's created more alcoholism issues, people who are already susceptible to alcoholism and drug use. It has increased that. It has increased domestic violence. It has increased sexual assault, and that is in all walks of life. It is not just male on female. It is in all relationship aspects. So I think it's quite insensitive and irresponsible to not address that across the board. Again, he needs, I don't know if it's just that everyone in his cabinet and all the people that he has surrounding him are just as stupid as he is, or he just doesn't give a damn. So that's what I have on that so far tonight. Yeah. Again, more stuff that is really not worth the paper that it's printed on. Feel free to chime in. You know, and child abuse. You know, we're seeing a lot of increase in child abuse during the last year, but we're not talking about that either. Maybe it's because they like to abuse children. I think that's probably a lot of that right there. They're some of the biggest child abusers out there. So, yeah. Anyway, kind of disturbing, I think, in the grand scheme of things. So, on to the next. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug down the drain. You can catch on Rumble. I did watch it, took a few notes. It was a very short interview. It was a good interview with Trump. Laura Trump did the interview. It was called The Right View. They talked about various things. Excuse me. One of the first topics that they talked about was the fact that President Biden had not addressed the nation in his first 65 days. And when he did, it was a press conference, and we're going to use that term loosely again because it was a staged event. And when I say staged event, he had all the questions in front of him that he had time to prep for. He had notes on how he was going to answer those questions, and on notes on which reporters he was going to call on. And I loved how when they asked him, because I watched it because I was curious as to how that was going to play out. And I say it was fun. I say it was funny, but again, I genuinely, even though these are scumbags in Washington, and let's call it like it is. They are scumbags. They're freaking disgusting human beings. Due to his mental deficit and him being paraded around out there, that's why I feel sorry for him, because he doesn't know where he is half the time, and I truly believe that he is ill. He is a very, very ill man. And so in that aspect, I feel very sorry for him. When they asked him about the Second Amendment legislation that they're anticipating him bringing forward and potentially doing executive orders on. He went right to infrastructure and started talking about infrastructure. And you could almost feel the cringes in the room, like, I don't know how if Trump had done that, the people in the press would have nailed him. I mean, they would have just started talking over him, and not a one person from the media said, you're avoiding the question. We need you to answer the question. You know what? I mean, they just pacified him and patted him on the back like he was just the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it was an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. You know, we have watched him, and this is some of the other points that was brought up in this interview. You know, we've watched him become, and I don't even know that we can say become, but we've watched it play out where he has made more liberal decisions than even Bernie Sanders was talking about on the campaign trail. I mean, we've watched him destroy energy. We've watched the tax increases. We're watching the attempt on the Second Amendment, media censorship. I mean, that press conference was media censorship at its finest. You know, I'm not going to answer questions unless I know what the questions are and I have 30 days to prep my answers for them and be drilled on them. And then I still can't answer them correctly. And the media is going to give me a pass on it. I've never seen in my lifetime a president have to be prepped for 30 days with the questions and still not be able to answer them. Most presidents that I have witnessed in my lifetime, since of course obviously being old enough to understand the whole, you know, government process and what's going on, you know, get up in front of press and take questions on the fly and be able to answer them, or at least be able to say, I'll get back to you on that answer. I don't have it at this time. But never circle around and just a total avoidance of the question and talk about something completely different and not be nailed and hammered on it. So, you know, we're embarking on even less freedom of press. You know, if it's not mainstream media, it's being taken down everywhere. You know, you can only have a point of view. Nobody's reporting facts. Our democratic cities, you know, crime is up, murder is up. You know, we know that there was a 3 a.m. dump of ballots, and that the election was a hoax, but, you know, they're still fighting that out. So, I mean, these are all things that he talked about with Laura Trump. So that's, that was a really interesting video, and it was on Rumble. Again, it's a very short video. If you're a Trump fan, if you're not a Trump fan, it was some very interesting information. I encourage you to go check it out. It was on Rumble with Laura Trump. It's called The Right View. It was an interview with Donald Trump. Like I said, it's not very long. Good little snippet to check out. He is still talking about returning in 2024. So, you know, that's something to look forward to, I guess. I watched a separate video, and it was a short little clip. It was Edward Snowden. And it's an old video, but I got such a kick out of watching it because a little snippet just really resonated with me so much. Where it said government should be afraid of the people. People should not be afraid of the government. And I think that is so true, especially right now. Our government has tried to make us so afraid of not only them, but of each other. And even Charles Barkley said it. I don't know if anybody watched basketball over like the last week, but he was bagging Republicans and Democrats both, which was really kind of refreshing for me to see this big NBA star, man of color, coming out and saying, that he believes that white and black people are at the core are good people, that they all are, and that it is the political arena pretty much that is dividing everybody, and that basically they're just kind of playing games. It's a power struggle, power trip, that they're dividing, and it's true. And it's nothing that most of your common folks like us have been saying for a really long time, but so many of your Hollywood and superstar athletes have bought into that rhetoric. It was really kind of refreshing to hear someone with his stature and influence come out and kind of say the same thing that all of us know to be true and believe. And hi, I've got a second. So that was really refreshing for me. I've always kind of liked Charles Barkley, entertainment wise, but when he said that during March Madness, I had a newfound respect for him as a person, not just as an entertainer and an athlete. I was like, wow, he gets it. Hi, I've got a third. He really gets it. So that was kind of cool. I enjoyed that. And again, I have kind of a newfound respect for him after saying that. So, again, there's so many more of us out there than what you would think. Again, I think that silent majority is really coming out of the woodwork. I think we're all really just tired of being silent and being silenced. I know I can kind of tell a little bit about this now. It's a little more safe for me to tell it. My sister-in-law held a position in our local government, so to speak. She was employed by local government. She has since left and went to another county. So now I can a little easier get involved in some of the things that are going on in our local county government without worrying about the trickle-down effect of that affecting her. So that's getting ready to start now that April has come. I'm super excited about that. I'm getting ready to start doing some digging and exposing. Our county judge executive is a real piece of work. Oh, really? Hi, Mama. Yeah, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Yeah. So, I'm going to start getting a little more involved in our local politics at the local level. I didn't do it before because the county judge executive was her direct boss, and I did not want that affecting her in any way, shape, or form. So sorry. So now that she is no longer employee of the county, then I can start getting a little more involved in that. But our county judge executive is a real slimeball weasel. His name is John Logan Brent, and I have no problem saying that now. I can say that. So there'll be more to come on that, and start getting a little bit more involved in some local and state things. The state mask mandate. Yes, Mom, we want to talk about that. Apparently, and I'm going to pull this because, let me get it pulled up. If you don't follow Chris Weist, you should. He is an attorney here in Kentucky, and he has been fighting Andy Dandy for a while now in the courts. So let me get to it. It's HB. Let me find it. Sorry, guys, I should have had this written down. Okay, so in early February, the General Assembly passed SB1, HB1, and SB2. These bills, one, immediately ended the governor's ability to suspend statutes without the consent of the Attorney General, which the governor has neither sought nor obtained. Two, limited all of his orders to 30 days unless extended by the General Assembly. Or three, allowed businesses that prepare a plan in accordance with CDC guidance to have immunity from government enforcement. And four, places additional restrictions on regulations and emergency regulations that to date, the governor and the administrative bodies have not complied with. HJR 77. Okay, we'll get to that one, Mom. So that's kind of what this is all in with the HJR 77. So he filed a lawsuit, Beshear did, in Franklin County Circuit Court with Judge Philip Shepard against the Speaker of the House, Senate President, LRC, and Attorney General. Judge Shepard issued an injunction against the Attorney General and legislation itself. And the issuing of an injunction against the legislation is unheard of and contrary to all existing precedent. The AG has appealed Judge Shepard's injunction to the Court of Appeals. The Court of Appeals is not wanting to get in the middle of it, so he asked the Kentucky Supreme Court to take the case directly, which is where the status of that appeal is right now. The legislature then passed HJR 77, which is a joint resolution that ended the emergency under the 2020 Senate Bill 150 and ended the business capacity of hours of operation and mask mandate under 2021 SB 1. So once the legislation did that, they sought to update the Boone County lawsuit regarding the facts of SB 148 regarding daycare centers. The governor sought to enjoin HJR 77 with a motion to do so in Franklin County Circuit, and it's scheduled to be heard in the docket today, which was on which was 2 days ago. Because the legislature did not pass or move House Bill 360, small businesses risk their business license by defying these decrees, even though they are possibly illegal. So, basically, what's going on is that the mask mandate is over. It can't be enforced. They're still tying everything up in court at the moment, but no business has the right to make you wear a mask. And this goes back to what I was saying in one of my previous videos, and I want to make this very, very clear. There is only one thing that a business can do. The business can ask you to put on a mask and you can deny. You can say, I am respectfully declining. I'm not going to put on a mask. At that point, they can ask you to leave. You can refuse to leave, but, and here's where I'm going to put this but out here. And guys, if you don't believe me, you can go research this. If a store decides to call the police, they can say you are creating a disturbance. I understand the health department thinks they can. They are not a policy making upholding the laws. But if a store calls the police and says you are creating a disturbance, okay, let me finish the thought here. And they want you no trespassed for creating a disturbance, which is different than not wearing a mask. Creating a disturbance. The police then can tell you, you have to leave the premises for creating a disturbance and you have been no trespassed, which means if you come back to the store, then we can arrest you for no trespass. They can't arrest you for not wearing a mask, but they can arrest you for no trespass as long as you have been no trespassed. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. Okay? A store can accuse you of causing a disturbance and ask you to be removed from the premises and no trespassed. That's how they're going to get you. Okay? So just be aware. Me personally, if they threaten to call the police on me for not wearing a mask, I'm just going to leave the store. I'll go to another store. That's fine. Because I know what's coming next. I know that the no trespass is coming next, and I understand that. And that is well within the police, if the store is saying that you're creating a disturbance, the police have to follow the law. So that is within the law. Okay? So, but more than likely, the stores are not going to do that majority of the time because they don't want to create a disturbance. Most of the workers are too afraid. Okay? Trust me, I have been running around to stores and not wearing a mask and nobody has said a damn word to me. Nobody is going to bother you with a mask. Trust me, I've been going everywhere without a mask on. Everywhere. No one has said a word to me about a mask. My husband and my grandmother went into Rural King last Saturday. Neither one of them had masks on. Nobody said a word. Okay, so people are just as done with this mask bullshit as we are. Even if, yes, you are going to have your people who are insistent on wearing masks. If you want to wear a mask, fine, wear a mask. I am not going to. If your mask works, it shouldn't matter if I'm wearing one. Period. So that's the stance that I take on that. I'm not wearing one. So, has anybody else had any trouble with mask wearing? I've got 3 on right now. I know Mom's on. I don't know who my other 2 are. If you have been having any trouble not wearing a mask, if you still want anonymity and don't want to put anything in the comments, just give me a thumbs up if you have run into problems with a mask. I know there's a delay on this, but I'm not getting any thumbs up. So, Dollar Store Taylorsville Road. So don't go back. I walk into the dollar store here in Pleasureville, Eminence, the Family Dollar in Eminence. I never wear a mask. I walk into Save-A-Lot. I walk into Walmart in LaGrange and in Shelbyville. I never wear a mask. I never wear a mask. I have yet to have any issue with not wearing a mask. The only place that I had issue wearing a mask with somebody saying something to me was the Wings and Rings place. And Miss Thing found out real quick that, oh, you were told that you wouldn't be checked out without a mask and you left. Good for you. Fibber. Oh, Wings and Rings? Yeah, they told us we had to wear masks, remember? But I pulled mine down. Remember when we were standing in the lobby, I pulled it down? I was like, nope, I'm not going to wear it. And then we went outside. But that's the only place, because remember, we don't wear them at the nail salon. They don't make us wear them, which is nice. But other than that, I don't wear it. Not going to. Not going to happen. But yeah, Little Miss Thing at Wings and Rings, she pissed me off a couple of times with the, you gotta wear a mask. Thank you. So I got Red and I got Mom. I'm still curious as to who my third is that remains anonymous. Amanda, have you had any trouble wearing? I mean, I know you do wear yours sometimes. But outside of that, when you don't wear one, have you had any trouble when you don't? Oh, Red. Mom. You're too much. No, but I'm pretty sure I'm eventually going to get turned in at work. There's one individual. Okay. Now, okay. So yes, I am fibbing. I did wear one into her business, but that's because you asked me to, out of respect for her. Yes. So I did wear one in her business. Yes. But I did take it off while I was eating my ice cream. Remember, I got ice cream on my mask while I was sitting there eating my ice cream while we were in there. Okay, so I lied. I did wear a mask in one place, and that was because it was a lady that Red knew, and she asked me, out of respect for that lady, to actually wear it in her business. But as soon as I got my ice cream, I dropped that sucker and started eating it. So. And she didn't mind. She didn't say it. She didn't say a word. But Yeah, I get dirty looks all the time. I don't care about that anymore. I'm just like, whatever. um, let's see. I'm trying to think of where else I've been. Oh, there was one weekend. The weekend we went to Frankfurt. We stopped at Cattleman's in Frankfurt. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. Yes, Mom. The people who wear it in the car when they're by themselves. Like, are you going to catch COVID from yourself? What do you? I don't understand that either. But we stopped at Cattleman's in Frankfurt. And all the Cattlemen's are laid out exactly the same. Like, you walk in and you got the hostess station. And then right here to the right, you literally have a booth right there. It's maybe five steps. They were taking us to that booth, and the girl was like, I need you to put a mask on. And I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, well, I don't have one with me. And I didn't bring my mask in because I haven't been wearing a mask anywhere. I was like, well, I don't have a mask with me. And she's like, well, I'll have to get you one from the back. And I'm like, really? That's okay. And I was like this. I was like, I'm good. She's like, that won't do. I have to get you a mask from the back. So, of course, Jeremy didn't have his mask with him either. So we're standing there waiting in the lobby, in the little front, like, no mask on. And I'm thinking, we're going right here. We're standing 3 to 5 feet away from where we're going. No mask on, breathing. Why can't you just walk us to their table? Because we're going to take it off as soon as we sit down anyway. Like, what? So she hands us the mask. So I literally take this mask. Like, if this was the mask, I literally take it and go like this. And walk over to the table and take it and set it down. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, you couldn't have just walked us over here and set us down because we're going to take it right back off anyway. Like, that's another special kind of stupid. Like, I don't get it. Sheep. Bah. I don't know, guys. I was thinking it was going to get better, because everybody's like, oh, well, once you get the vaccine, blah, 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 blah. Well, now they want us to get the vaccine and wear 2 masks after you get it. I'm sorry. I thought if people got the vaccine, then everything was going to go back to normal, which I'm not getting the vaccine. It's not going to happen. Again, I'm not going to shame anybody for getting it. If that's something that you feel like you need to do, then by all means do it. I watched a video of a young lady who I really like, and she was talking about this, about, don't vaccine shame. And I needed to hear that because I had kind of been getting a little hard on people that I love that were taking the vaccine. And I'm like, I know the vaccine has COVID in it, Amanda. I know it's, but I had been hard on people who were, I'm going to take the vaccine. I'm like, why are you going to do that to yourself? Not that I was shaming them, but I was being a little hard on people. And she made a really interesting statement that really hit home to me. And it didn't really hit hard home to me until a couple of days ago. And I had watched this video a little while ago. She said, there are some souls who are ready to leave the planet. Some souls are not ready to leave the planet yet. Some souls still have more work to do. There are some souls and some spirits that need to be here to fight, to do things. Their jobs are not finished yet. There are some souls that they are content with leaving. And if it has been placed upon their heart and their soul to take the vaccine, then that means that they're ready to move on. Even if it's people you love, if they're taking it, then it's time for them to go. It's time for them to move on. And as much as that sucks, I get it. And I won't share exactly why. There will be a couple of you that I personally know that I will privately share that with. But it clicked and it hit, and I was like, I understand it. I get it. So, and I'm trying to think of it that way for the people that I love that are going ahead and taking it. That that's how I'm rationalizing it. Their jobs are done. Their jobs are done. And it's time. So,
Can you go ahead and contact 156 for 115 and 15?
Yeah. So you guys can, tell me what you think about that. That's it's a tough pill to swallow, but I'll give it a second because I know there's a lag. Oh, Red told me there's a lag. Well, yes, I think, Mom, that and who's to say that there's not a veil of protection over those ones who were forced, that their choice was denied because they were forced because of their work? I mean, I have so many family members at this point that have taken it. Some of them was because of their job, they had to. Some of them was because they chose to. So the ones that were forced to for their job, I think they've been exposed to so much in their jobs to begin with. Right, exactly. And I do too. I mean, I look at my brother and sister-in-law and, they have, but I look at what they've been exposed to over the years. And, if some of the shit that they've been exposed to over the years hasn't killed them, I don't know that the COVID vaccine is going to. I mean, I laugh when I say that, but I mean, my brother-in-law has been injected with so much stuff from being in the military, in the Coast Guard. And I mean, being overseas and all that, Lord, if all that hasn't killed him yet, then will the COVID vaccine do it? I kind of have to think in my own head that, he's going to be fine. Right, exactly. Dennis too. So, I mean, I watched my sister-in-law be quarantined because of her job, being exposed to stuff. And I mean, I think their immune systems are pretty strong. So, but then of course, I have family members who chose to take it. And, I have to think, well, maybe their job is done. I don't know, I don't know. So, again, it's a hard pill to swallow. So, just kind of have to roll with it and see what happens. But I hope that they don't make kids take it to go back to school. That's what I fear. They're going to infect all these kids with it. And Red, I'm sure you're worried. Your baby's at Paris Island. I'm sure they're going to make him take it. I heard a story, and I don't know how accurate or how true it was because of the source, but that at Fort Campbell, right now for the military, the vaccine is optional. And the guys at Fort Campbell, he had it. So you don't have to take it. Well, I hope that's the case. Because again, this story that I have heard through the grapevine, and again, I don't know how reliable the sources are, was that the soldiers at Fort Campbell were being told, it's optional, you don't have to take it. And the ones that are refusing to take it, they have been quarantined. They're not allowed to go more than 25 miles off base. Some of them live more than 25 miles off base, so they're not allowed to go home. They're being pulled in every day, every other day by their superior officers and being drilled on why they're refusing to take it. They're being demoted. All these things are happening to them, trying to force them to take it. Apparently it's a big stink. Of course, you're not hearing about it on mainstream media. There was a whistleblower that called into a radio show that said his brother was at Fort Campbell and that his brother was telling him that all this stuff was going on. Again, source, you can't, who knows if it's true or not. But the story is out there that this is going on. I'd like to find out if it's true or not. I have sent it to several people to try to find out if it's a legit thing that's happening, but nobody seems to have researched it, or if they have, nothing has come of it. I don't know yet. So I know you can't really talk to him about it while he's there because they're monitoring him still since he's in basic. But it would be interesting to talk to him about once he's not in basic anymore, what the story might be on what they're doing with them. Just going to throw that out there for you. Because yes, now he does have immunity and he shouldn't have to take it. But again, I don't know. It makes me wonder, they experiment on our military before they experiment on anybody else, it seems like. Which I think is kind of fucked up, but whatever, They don't sign up for that shit. So I'm gonna try to find out, Mom. Scott McKay. I know you'll be on the news if they do that to your baby. Leave your purse here so I have bail money for your ass. I'll come get you out of jail. The Patriot Street Fighter thing, the tour, I'm waiting to see. I'm trying to find out what the cost is, if there's going to be a cost, because I'm seriously planning on trying to go to that when they have it. So I hate the fact that I hope they're not going to be downtown. But I mean, I'll go downtown. I don't care. Fuck it. Why not? I'm sure they'll protest it, but who cares? We'll go anyway. It's a donation. I'll do a donation. I don't care. I want to go see Scott McKay. Well, yeah, I carry everywhere I go. That's a given. I'll go anywhere without my gun. But yeah, I do want to go see Scott McKay. That's Amanda, do you know who Scott McKay is? Patriot Street Fighter. Have you been watching any of him? I know you're a hermit. Okay, so I'll send you some links. Yeah, I'll send you some links. Me and Mom are planning on. They're gonna do a U.S. tour, and at this point, me and Mom are planning on trying to go see him. So if you want to go after you watch some of his stuff, if you want to go with us, you can. He's pretty interesting. I'll send you some stuff. He's not bad on the eyes. he's not bad on the eyes. Not bad at all. Oh hell. My husband's leaving the station. We're gonna have to cut this short. Well, piss. Well, kids, the husband will be home here in about 10 minutes, so I guess an hour is all we're going to get. Count you in? Okay, I'll still send you some links for some of his videos. You can also, I subscribe to him on YouTube, so if you go to my page and then go to, like, channels, you can find him, Amanda, and click on and find some of his stuff. So you can always find him that way too. Is he on Facebook? Yes, but do you have Telegram? BitChute, yes, he's on Facebook. He's on BitChute. He's on Telegram. He's on Rumble. So we'll get you watching him. No worries. I'll get you caught up. All right, everybody. I am out for the night. The hubby's on his way home, and yes, Charlie Ward. I'll get her started on Charlie Ward too. Gotta get the girl caught up. So, all right, that's all I've got for tonight. I'll try to get a video up tomorrow midday, hopefully, if all goes as planned. And then Friday I'll probably be off, Saturday and Sunday off, and then back again on Monday. So everybody have a great night. Enjoy your evening, and I will see you guys tomorrow.